My name is Deborah Chapman, and I'm here with Mary Landers, one of the first members of the Community Heritage Commission. The commission was created after the Sam and Lizzie McGuire house was demolished. How did you get involved, Mary?
Well, my husband Gary is involved in Haney Park, and I would attend various events. And this was in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, when we first arrived in Salmon. And I had been on a Heritage Commission in Vernon. And so when we arrived, I did check with some people, including Rosemary Wilson, who I believe was, I think, president of the Historical Society at that point, and asked, did Sam and have a Heritage Commission? And she said, well, we'd had one, but it got dissolved or it ended or something. And so, would you like to start one? I said, well, I've been in one in Vernon. No, I might be interested. So then every time we had an event, Rosemary Wilson, bless her heart, is very tenacious, and she would be after me. And then Dorothy Rowlin got involved as well, and the two of them are wonderful volunteers and formidable. And so they kept pressing, and so, I said, okay. So what then happened was that Dorothy Rulin and I went and met with Mayor Bootsma and Mr. Bannister, and then he agreed to, the mayor agreed to let me make a presentation. So then, of course, Rosemary and Dorothy got everybody all going and organized to attend a city council meeting. And so that's how it began then. I made the presentation. It was May of 2007.
And Rosemary pushed you to step forward.
Oh, she sure did.
So the commission was created after the McGuire house was demolished. So that was the trigger, wasn't it?
It really was. It really was. The timing was really good. People were quite upset, quite up in arms. I think people were taken by surprise by the permission that was given to take it down. It was in pretty bad shape, although there was a young architect in the community who was very involved for a while. She's moved away, who kind of specialized in heritage type homes, or was aware of them and knowledgeable, and felt it certainly could have been saved, but it would have cost a lot of money, and that money wasn't there for the owners, clearly. And sadly, it was like the day Paradise put up a parking lot, because what is there now is kind of a parking lot, which is, it was sort of sad. However, that's the way it was. It's a catalyst for the Heritage Commission then. So, yeah.
And your presentation at the council office or the chambers was really well attended, wasn't it?
Oh, it really was. And I remember looking back before I just got up, and the place was standing room only, and Doug Adams and his wife were there. He was the president, I believe, of the Heritage and the Haney Heritage Park and Museum, and there were lots of people there, and it was very well attended. And so that was very helpful. I mean, that's always helpful. And it helps to support city councilors who are voting in favor of something, if they can see that there's community support, which there certainly was that night.
So are you proud of your work? It's been almost 20 years since the house was removed. What's been accomplished, too?
Well, absolutely proud of everything that's gone on. We've had really great people in the Heritage Commission. It started out with strong people. You were there. Dorothy Rowlin was there. And then Dolores Morey and Bill Laird and Dave Harper, who had been on the other Heritage Commission. And then Alan Harrison was our first city councilor who was assigned to our job, to the commission. So I'm really proud. It is known as one of the hardest working committees with the city. We don't mess around. We do lots of things. We began with a strategic plan which is what had happened in Vernon. And we hired a man called Robert Hobson from Kelowna, who went on to be city councillor in Kelowna, and I think chairman of the regional district eventually. And he was very knowledgeable, and he helped us with a plan. And there was a community meeting about that from people from all walks of the community or parts of the community. Then we went on to the Heritage Register, and it basically is an inventory of all of the important buildings and pieces of property related to heritage. Then we went on to a plaque program in which we have these large, they're like great big plexiglass kind of signs, I guess you'd say, where they tell the story of a certain area, and that's a number of places around town. Then we had a street sign program where I think all of us, including me, had seen some street signs. I have a cousin who was a city councillor for Kirkland, Washington, and they had these cool little signs, heritage signs, and other people had seen them in other Victoria and various places. So important streets then have a heritage name underneath the official name. And so we did that, and that's still ongoing. That is ongoing. That will carry on. Then we have a heritage awards that we've given to people who own property and are spending a lot of money, lots of times, to keep those old buildings going, and that is given yearly. And then the latest thing is that we've got these beautiful brass, not super big and imposing, but brass signs that are going to go on the side of the buildings of important heritage buildings. And that is just beginning. We've purchased them and we're in the process of handing them out to the willing owners of properties to put them on the side of their building. And we've seen them in Enderby, we've seen them in Vernon, we've seen them in Kamloops, Victoria, all over the place. And I think ours are very tasteful. They're not very big, they're brass, and they're beautiful. And all it says is Heritage Building, I believe. And so they now are going on. So things are ongoing. The inventory or the register is growing as we, learn more about some of the older buildings. And so it's still going great guns. And we have still a super group of people. It's changed. There aren't I believe you and I are the only ones that are still there that were there at the beginning, but really hardworking people who are knowledgeable, and they really care, but they also get things done. And that, I think, is really helpful for city count or the city employees when they are going to work with a committee in the community. I'm sure it's a relief when the committee actually gets things done and isn't annoying and difficult. And I don't think our committee is that way. So it's a great marriage of community and city.
That's wonderful, Mary. I wondered if you had one word to describe the McGuire house, what would you use?
Well, you asked me to prepare for this, and I can't do one, but I'll do two. The first one, of course, is iconic because of the importance of the McGuire family. Also, it was a stunning old house, wonderful looking old house. But so I would say iconic and a catalyst. It was the one thing that it did do is the death of the McGuire house elicited or brought on the birth of the Heritage Commission, and there's been lots accomplished, since then.
If you had one word to describe the commission's work, what one word would you use?
Well, I would probably have trouble going with one, but I would say impressive and monumental.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much for doing this.
You are welcome.